Let's be real for a second. Zuko is hands down the most mentally stable person in Avatar. No, seriously. The constant screaming, speedrunning the worst possible decisions, and catching a fire buff directly to the face from his own dad, that is literally the only healthy emotional reaction to a family where genocide is casual Thanksgiving dinner conversation, and tough love involves a canister of gasoline. But what if I told you Fire Lord Ozai never actually burned Zuko's face? He burned his identity. For 3 seasons, this kid isn't chasing a 12-year-old bald monk. He's trapped in the labyrinth of his own gaslighted mind, trying to win back something that never existed, his father's love. And here's the terrifying part. Zuko isn't an isolated case. He isn't just an exiled prince with a tragic backstory and a questionable ponytail. Zuko is a microcosm of the entire Fire Nation, a country that torched half the world, genuinely believing they were sharing their greatness. Today, we're breaking down why Zuko's ultimate tragedy is the tragedy of an entire empire, and why his absolute dumbest choices were exactly what saved the world. Welcome to therapy, Firebenders. By season 3, every time Zuko screams the word "My honor!" it basically becomes a drinking game for the audience. But psychologically, that word isn't just a goal, it's a shield against profound, toxic shame. In the Fire Nation, love is performance-based. You're useful to the Empire, you're loved. You show weakness, you catch a fireball to the face and get exiled for 3 years. Zuko is trying to heal his trauma in the exact same environment that caused it. It's the psychological equivalent of going back to an abusive ex, hoping that this time, if you just clean the house well enough, they'll finally love you. Zuko swallowed his father's imperialist lie hook, line, and sinker. Ozai brainwashed a whole nation into thinking they were the master race, destined to rule. And for 2 seasons, Zuko forces himself into this villain era. But his core self, the empathy passed down by his mother, Ursa, keeps rejecting the virus. The kid literally catches a life-threatening fever in Ba Sing Se because his body physically refuses to digest the lie he's living. But true character development doesn't happen overnight. To break Ozai's spell, the writers strip Zuko of everything: his ship, his crew, and eventually, Uncle Iroh. They drop him into the ultimate Earth Kingdom survival mode. Before this, the war was an abstract concept to Zuko. It was maps, war rooms, and propaganda. But when he takes off his royal goggles, he faces the raw, ugly truth of the Fire Nation greatness. He sees starved villages, orphans, and wreckage. And worst of all, he sees his own people, not as glorious liberators, but as power-tripping occupiers, thugs, and abusers stealing from starving peasants. And this is Zuko's ultimate existential nightmare. He genuinely wants to do good, he defends the weak, but the moment people realize what he is, their gratitude instantly turns into primal terror. To them, his fire isn't a symbol of progress. It's the symbol of death, ash, and concentration camps. This is the exact moment his worldview shatters. He realizes his country isn't the savior of the world. They are the monsters under everyone's bed. This cognitive dissonance starts eating him alive. He goes back to Iroh, but the seed of doubt is planted. This is why he hesitates so desperately in the catacombs of Ba Sing Se. His empathy is wide awake, but his fear of being a nobody is still screaming louder. This brings us to the moment where most viewer in 2006 screamed at the TV.
You idiot! You're honestly an idiot! I don't know what's wrong with you!
The smoke from the jasmine tea melts Zuko's last 2 remaining brain cells, and he betrays Iroh, betrays Katara, and sides with Azula. Why? He had the perfect life. A peaceful tea shop, a loving uncle. Did his brain just short-circuit? Actually, yes. But from a psychological standpoint, this was his only option. Zuko had to test this toxic DLC. If he stayed in that tea shop, he would have lived the rest of his life with a massive unresolved what if. What if Dad really changed? What if I could finally have my honor back? He needed to get everything he ever dreamed of. He needed to return home a hero, sit at the right hand of the Fire Lord, and get Azula's respect. And do you know what he feels when he finally gets it? Absolute crushing emptiness. He chased the mirage, reached the treasure room, and found nothing but ash. Zuko had to hit rock bottom on his own terms. This betrayal is actually the most mature step in his arc, because it's the exact moment he finally, completely, separates his worth from his father's approval. Now, let's talk about the incredible storytelling the animators hid in plain sight. Zuko's trauma and recovery are hard-coded into his design and fight choreography. First, The hair. In Season 1, that shaved head with the lonely top knot isn't just a choice, it's a leash. Bro looked like a walking red flag and an angry thumb. In the Fire Nation, that hairstyle represents military status. By leaving him that top knot, Ozai was basically marking him. You are exiled, but you still belong to me. When Zuko and Iroh cut their top knots off with a dagger in Season 2, it's not a disguise for border control. It's a symbolic mental castration of Ozai's authority. Notice how the freer Zuko becomes, the more natural, shaggy, and human his hair grows. Second, his bending style. Zuko is an emotional sponge. Early on, he mirrors the aggressive, rigid chopping strikes of Ozai and Azula. His fire is fueled by pure, toxic rage. But when he switches sides, his bending completely dies. The old fuel is gone and the new tank is empty. His training with the dragons isn't just a power upgrade, it's somatic therapy. By Season 3, Zuko's movements become circular and fluid. He adopts the techniques of Uncle Iroh, who famously learned them by studying waterbenders. Zuko literally flushed the imperialist aggression out of his muscle memory. This leads us to the ultimate truth of Avatar's political landscape. Why did Zuko have to become the Fire Lord? Why not Iroh? Because the best leader is the one who reflects the journey of his people. The Fire Nation isn't Ozai. Ozai is just a psychopath on a throne. The Fire Nation is Zuko. It's a nation that lost its way, blinded by false pride, believing they were spreading greatness while burning everything to the ground. The Fire Nation lost its soul in that war, just like Zuko did. Zuko walked the exact path his country needed to walk. From blind nationalism and imperial ego, through shame, poverty, and accountability, all the way to redemption. He didn't get a pass to stay clean. He made every single mistake imaginable, betrayed everyone who loved him, and that is exactly why he earned the moral authority to heal his empire. When Zuko takes the crown, he isn't just closing his own loop, he's closing the loop for his entire civilization. The boy who spent 3 seasons screaming for honor finally realized the truth. You don't find honor by capturing children. You find it by admitting when you were wrong and spending the rest of your life fixing what you broke. If you liked this video, please drop a like and subscribe. I really appreciate your support right now. Love you all. Bye.